Bulavanaka, wherever you're watching around the rugby world, it's great to have your company for some Drua Talk. I'm Greg Clark, and this week we'll talk to the Swire Shipping Fijian Drua Men's head coach Mick Byrne. We'll catch up with Langi Gleeson from the New South Wales Waratahs, who played the Drua in Lautoka on Saturday. We'll hear from the injured Drua and flying Fijian star Caleb Muntz. There's highlights from the Drua men's clash with the Chiefs and the Drua women's game against the Reds in Brisbane. Mixed results, the men are losing another game away from home, but the Rooster Chicken Drua women started their title defence with a gritty win. Congratulations to them. There's also the tries of the week, and of course it was always going to be a tough road trip to Hamilton in the Shop and Save Super Rugby Pacific for the men. The Chiefs were hurting after their first loss of the season to the Reds, and they were determined to bounce back. Let's take in some highlights from a high-scoring encounter.
Crusaders at FMG Stadium, Hamilton. Zaya Armstrong Ravula getting us underway, and a good take in the air. Sami Pini Fina laying it back for Cortez Ratima. Into the feet of the captain, Terena Langi. Kuravoli. His 9th appearance tonight. And with 11 test matches to his name. Sends it high, McKenzie. Good contest for the ball. But it's the Fijian Drua through Yosefo Masi. He's going to have too much pace. And he scores the opening try. Selby Rickard once more the target for the Chiefs. Now here it is for Rona. Busting through, getting a beautiful pass away from Caleb. There's Ratima and Jacobson slicing through the gap. Rameka Puepi. Ratima on the inside. That is a stunning try from the Chiefs. Damien McKenzie going in on defence with Tokiaho. Dorena Langi. Chiefs holding for the moment. Now Armstrong Ravula. They're going to score another. Yes, they are. Yosefo Masi. He gets two. Ratima and the Chiefs again. It's operated well, and I'll look for another penalty advantage. No, he'll get one too, but it gives Luke Jacobson the pat. Lovely ball away, just getting in behind Runa. He's 44. Like that playbook has Manaki Selby Rickett as his locking partner with him. Samasoni Tokiaho waits, but they go to the right. McKenzie floats the ball away. Simply sensational. Daniel Runa. And the one-test All Black. And the Chiefs just 12 metres out. Rameka Puepi, he's been full of running. He gets them at the right end of the park again as Jacobson. Quick hands once more. This time, Sami Pini Fina. Oh, they've done it again out on the right.
He must have been very close. And if he's pulled this in, it is brilliant. Here's the hands. Here's McKenzie at the end. Well in now, and we'll get a good shot of it now.
Dan, the ball's been grounded touch and goal, so it's taken dead by Black, so it'll be a 22-metre restart.
10 points for the dive and the effort. Sami Pini Fina, but they won't get the 5 they were after. It's beautiful as Leonard Brown runs onto a lovely pass. Ratima surely out wide, they'll score it, they will. And Tenenana Sotoro. Row once more, Dyer, little short pass again. Anton Leonard Brown, Bucklin Kupaya, shifting it on, he's going to get two. Caleb Boucher. Laying it back for Pini Matawalu. Chiefs defence has been pretty good tonight. They've had plenty of looks. The Drua close to the line. Millimetre. Just short. Matawalu once more, and the try is scored. Lucky 5-8 to ground. Chiefs 30 out. Searching for a 6th try. There's Stevenson. Puts a little kick through for himself. The bounce will be interesting. Mighty. Absolute money from Sean Stevenson. And their last run of super matches at FMG. And it could be the Drua who have the final say. And it's come forward. Although there's a card coming here. Looks like it's to the captain, is it?
Norris, I think it is.
It's Ollie Norris. So they'll get the final roll of the dice here, the Drua. They're going to scoot over for the last try of the game. Tony Matawalu spins it wide, and they are going to score. Kimu Valetini. As Armstrong Ravula can't convert the try. The Chiefs have their third win of the Super Rugby Pacific season. A big one too. They've beaten the Fijian Drua tonight here in Hamilton by 46 points to 29.
Another loss on the road for the Drua. The Chiefs scored 3 tries to 2 in each half and were able to dominate the scoreboard, and we'll get a reaction from Mick Byrne shortly. But let's check all the Week 4 results now. Big problems for the defending champs, the Crusaders, who are still winless after the 4-point loss to the Hurricanes. Reds were big winners over the Rebels. Another win for Moana, 22-14 over the winless Force. A good win in New Zealand for the Brumbies over the Highlanders. Chiefs over the Drua, and the Blues got the job done against the Waratahs, but only just in Sydney. To the ladder now, and it's the unbeaten Hurricanes on top on 17. The Reds, Chiefs and Blues round out the top 4. Then it's the Brumbies, Highlanders, Rebels and Moana in the 8. The Waratahs, Drua, Crusaders and Force have some work to do, but it's still early days. Well, this is Drua Talk, and it's time to catch up with head coach Mick Byrne, who'll be happy to be back in Lautoka to take on the Waratahs on Saturday. Mick, another loss on the road, and we know the Chiefs are always tough to beat at home. Down 24-17 at the break, that next 20 minutes or so in the second half proved to be costly. It was 6 tries to 4 overall, and with an eye on the upcoming road trips, what lessons did you take away from Hamilton?
Well, I think you've sort of summed it up pretty well there, Clarkie, that time after half time. They came out, they're a really good side, and they came out firing, and they carried the ball well and they challenged us, and I thought we were sort of on the back foot there for that 20 minutes, but then we regrouped, and I thought the last 20 minutes we came back reasonably strong, and it's probably only a small consolation, but they didn't get a bonus point at the end of the day. We kept playing, and I thought we started well. Our road trips have been a bother, as we know, but I thought we started well. And, I'm not sure, in hindsight, when you look at the tap kick, that he didn't actually tap it. So, our players got distracted by that, and they should have stayed focused on the blindside run, and they got a try, but he never tapped it. So that's one of those things that happen.
50-50 calls don't always go your way on the road, so it seems. 1 win from the 4 matches so far. You're not that far out of the 8. And back-to-back home games coming up and a trip to Melbourne before the bye. So what are the work-ons over the next 3 weeks?
Well, I think we're tightening up a bit of defence. I think our players getting back into the line a little bit more urgently. We've chatted about that. We've had a look at a couple of times in the game where we could have got our numbers right by players getting back in the line a little bit quicker. So that'll be, we've addressed that, and that's probably the big one. I thought we held onto the ball well. We've been carrying well. We can always improve in all aspects of the game, but I think the one for us is getting all our players back in the line defensively and staying solid like we were against the Crusaders.
Mick, there was no Lamani or Kandavati, so you had to test your depth a bit. I guess it's always good to give everyone some minutes. You never know when you're going to need them at the business end.
Yeah, I think there's, it's testing depth, but it's a long season, and the players you mentioned, they've played a lot of football in the last sort of 12 months, and we need them humming as the season unfolds. And so the beauty is that I understand what you're saying, Clarkie, about testing your depth, but I know our depth is good. So it's just giving those players an opportunity to come in and play rugby. We know that they're good. There's no need to test it. But I understand what you're saying, but there's no need to really test it. They're in good shape, good players, and they played well.
Good to see Yosefo Masi get back into some try-scoring form. 9 tries last season and a double last weekend.
Yeah, look, we know Masi's a world-class player, and he's playing in a tough position. And sometimes when things aren't going your way from a defensive perspective, the 13s have to work twice as hard. And I think once we get our game going and we can sort of help him by being a bit stronger on the inside channels with our D, he'll settle into his game, and we know he's got tries in him, and as I said, world-class player.
Now Saturday, Lautoka, the Drua versus the New South Wales Waratahs, 1 win apiece, 9th versus 10th. Just 1 point separating the teams on the ladder. It's a crunch game, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, these are the games that you obviously set out at the start of the year. We didn't want to be 1 and 3 or 1 and 4. We didn't want to be sort of 1 and 3 after 4 rounds. So we want to be 2 and 4. So we need to work hard to make sure that's the case. No doubt they're going to be coming here with the same thought. They at the start of the year, that was all about how they start the year, and they've got to get their first 4 or 5 games, and we're no different. So it'll be 2 sides probably desperate to get a win on the board.
The Waratahs will be kicking themselves for not being able to get the job done against the Kiwis, the Highlanders and Blues at home in recent weeks. What have you made of them?
Yeah, they're the same team that they have been. They're a physical pack. They've got good line-out defence. They've got a couple of exceptional players out wide, and they're a good all-round team. And I think they're no different to what they have been over the last couple of years. They'll be in your face. They'll be giving you a little bit of grief off the ball as well. So our boys are looking forward to that.
Well, it's a big double-header at Lautoka on Saturday. Both the Drua Men and Women are playing the Waratahs. It's going to be huge, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a great opportunity. Double-header, be great. It's a great opportunity for the game in Fiji to have both our teams on display against the same opposition. It should create good atmosphere for the day.
We're looking forward to it, Mick. Thanks for your time as always. All the best on Saturday. Manaka.
Thanks, Clarkie. Thank you.
Don't miss it on Saturday. The Fijian Drua are up against the New South Wales Waratahs. The Drua hoping for their first ever win over the Tahs. Now it's a 1 p.m. kickoff for the men, followed by the women. Get your tickets early. And of course, we manage now to track down Waratahs star, a man with Fijian heritage, Langi Gleeson. Bulla Langi, thanks for your time, mate. It was another narrow defeat against the Blues last weekend. What lessons came out of the loss to the Blues?
Yeah, it was a pretty close game. I think we did really well as a team. The lessons that we learned from that is just how to close games, especially after another close loss. The difference between winning and losing is those last 30 minutes.
It must be frustrating to be so competitive but not getting the results in the past fortnight. But you're not too far off the pace, are you?
Yeah, it gives us a lot of confidence matching those teams as opposed to last year. We wouldn't even get close to them, but we're improving every week, and there's a lot to learn from that game, and we'll put it forward this Saturday against the Drua.
Yes, it's the Drua this week. The Waratahs men and women travel to Fiji for a double header. Have you been impressed by the Drua men, especially at home?
It's always tough to versus the Drua, especially in their hometown. Their crowd certainly gets behind it. And it would be hard to shut them down, but we'll try and do a job on them this Saturday.
Mate, have you been asked to pass on any tips to your teammates about how to handle the Drua, considering your proud Fijian heritage?
I'm sure they already know this, but physicality. My most physical games have been against the Drua. A lot of sore bodies for like 2 weeks after that. So it's just about getting in those contacts and wrapping the ball.
No doubt the Waratahs are looking forward to their first match in Lautoka because it's certainly very different to anything they've experienced before.
Yeah, it'll be very different, especially with the heat and humidity, with the crowd as well. I'm sure they'll remember this for the rest of their careers, and yeah, it'll be a good one on Saturday.
Langi, will you have any family and friends in the crowd? If so, where will they travel from?
Yeah, most of my family's from Suva, so there'll be, I think it's about a 4-hour drive or something, but there'll be a lot of them, and I'm sure I'll hear them.
Well, if they're like the Drua fans, you'll definitely hear them. And Langi, we appreciate you giving us some time, mate. Thanks again. Safe travels. Vanaka.
Thanks, Clarkie.
The Drua versus the Waratahs is one of 6 games in Week 5 in the Shop and Save Super Rugby Pacific. On Friday, the Hurricanes host the Rebels and the Brumbies play Moana Pacifica in Canberra. On Saturday, it's the Drua up against the Tahs in Lautoka. The Chiefs are at home again, taking on the Highlanders. The Blues host the Crusaders, and the Force will look to get their first win when they play the Inform Reds in Perth. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Drua Talk. Still to come, we'll catch up with Caleb Muntz in Clarkie's Corner. But right now, it's time to take in some highlights of the Rooster Chicken Fijian Drua Women, who opened their season with a win over the Queensland Reds in Brisbane. What a great season opener for the Drua.
Woody fighting through the traffic. Now it's with Narokete, running against her old team. Narokete gets 3 metres away. Down a halfback.
No.
The Reds pick to rumble, and they're rumbling indeed. And they're through. It's a great try for the Reds. They're on the scoreboard first. Kramer makes the kick. Get the penalty from Kramer being offside, but the Drua are starting to find some space, find some momentum. Little pass away, right-hand side is open. Nevosa is away, straightens up, but it's a good tackle from Dallinger. Off the deck to Nanivalu scores, and the Momentum Maidens from Fiji score a 6 at Allianz Stadium. So players playing for position as we see the Drua on the right-hand side. Now it's with Nevosa, the debutante. There is no sweeter feeling than one on debut, and the Drua takes the lead. First touch in hand, they've got a yawning gap to play in on the far side. And they'll entrust it with Millenia. Millenia breaks away from one. Millenia wanted to offload desperately, and she will. There it is with Orai! And they'll crash through for an early score in the second half. For Rumba Nakandavu. Serakarivi. Head of steam from Koravata. She rumbles forward and she gets the try. The juggernaut was never going to be stopped. Another opportunity. Malloy finds her mark again. The Reds form up nicely. They've got some nice speed coming in towards the try line. They've just got to stay upright. It's a real pile on. And it's a penalty try for the Reds. An instant 7 points. A legend of the game here in Queensland and Australia. And now it's with Sawaso and the youngster with the fleet feet gets it done, and you will not see a bigger celebration. Wrap up round 1 of this competition, and it excites everyone to think about what's coming in the remainder of the matches. Millenia, left-hand side, and she's off and running. Millenia, too much class, still going. The offload is there, and Buddha, she'll get one herself, and they'll finish it off in style. Waisenga for the try, puts them back ahead. Nakandavu. The Drua still with it. Roko Uno out here for the captain, Naisewa. Beats the first. There's space. Naivosa is through. And that will do it. What a debut for Smith. But it'll be lost. A knock on. But a phenomenal performance by the Fijian Drua, our reigning champions.
Kara, what a game to start the first game of the season for the Super W. Tough game for you. A few errors riddled for both sides. What positives can you take out of today for your side moving forward for the rest of the comp?
It's just our structure game. We're sticking on our structure game and playing our Fijian game. This is the offload and going forward.
Now this magnificent crowd that's out here today, they're always supportive and they're very, very loud. There's some beautiful singing going on behind us. How much do you rely on that crowd?
First of all, binakawale, we came to na bitokoni, kim do mitokoni kito na ngonela na sa kabina ni kuwa. Kisengo Kimni Kisiriwango Kanarirai. Thank you to all the supporters back at home who's been cheering for us and supporting us all the way. Thank you. Vinakabalevu.
Thank you, Cara. Good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you. Naka.
Now, round one results. A great finish at Ballymore in Brisbane for the Drua women. They beat the Reds by 11 in the end in a rematch of last year's finalists. The Force had a good win first up, downing the Rebels 36-12. The Waratahs beat the Brumbies 45-10. And the Drua over the Reds 32-21. This week, it's Brumbies and Rebels on Friday night in Canberra. The Drua and Waratahs at Churchill Park, Lautoka on Saturday from 3:30 p.m. And the Force hosts the Reds in Perth. Okay, it's that time of the show when we head to Clarkie's Corner. On Drua Talk, it's time to see who's in Clarkie's Corner. Joining us in Clarkie's Corner is Caleb Muntz. Now, ACL that ruined your World Cup dreams last year. How's the recovery? When are you back?
It's going good. We're looking kind of ahead of schedule. So I'm back running, change of direction, getting into some top speed stuff soon and hopefully some contact soon after. So there's no concrete timeline on when I'll be back, but I'll be working hard to try and get back as soon as possible.
Tell us a Caleb Muntz story. Where'd you start?
Yeah, so I was born in Huntley, a little town a little bit north of Hamilton, south of Auckland. I started playing rugby when I was 4. Not really any reason to it, I think. I think everyone played rugby, so you just joined in and never stopped playing. I was lucky enough to play my footy through Hamilton Boys, and kind of after high school I was stuck in limbo a little bit. I was going to uni and there wasn't very much opportunity for me until Fiji 20s kind of called up and said, oh, hey, we're looking for a player and come over and give it a crack. So yeah, I went over and 5 years later played in a couple of teams, the 20s, the Latui, the Drua, and now in Super, and obviously the Flying Fijians last year. So yeah, it's a pretty lucky, I guess, journey. I got one chance to try and live my dream, and thankfully I was able to take it. So.
But you have to take your opportunities, and you've done that before the injury. Tell us about playing for the Drua though. It's a real family affair.
Yeah, it is. I guess me growing up in New Zealand, I didn't really quite understand what kind of this team meant to the country. But through our first year, I kind of was getting a little bit of a feel for it. But last year, when we were based here, we got to play here in front of the crowd. I really understood how much this team means to their fans. You hear a lot, they were waiting 20 odd years to get a team into the Super Rugby, and all the kids, all the adults, everyone here was just always fascinated about Super Rugby, and for them to get a chance to actually play in it and be able to have games here in Fiji and kind of do our part and put on some good performances and some good wins for the fans, it really means a lot to me, and I think my dad and my grandmother are really proud of me being a part of this. I'm
sure they are. So the goals to win Super Rugby Pacific with the Fijian Drua, and then of course missed out on the World Cup last year through injury, but hey, it's 2027 in Australia.
Yeah,
you can have all your family across there.
Yeah, exactly. It's closer, right? So it's a lot cheaper for them to go and have a watch. So yeah, it was pretty tough to take at first, but hey, I'm still breathing. I'm still doing what I love, whether it's rehab or playing on the field, and yeah, we have another chance hopefully in the next 3 years from now.
And you've got some opposition now in the 10 and 12 jersey for the Drua and probably the Flying Fijians, but that's good. You need depth.
Yeah, we do. Obviously Fiji historically haven't had a lot of depth, especially in first 5, so it's good. It means we have to compete. It means we can't get complacent. You have to earn your spot every week, and yeah, Izzy's playing some really good rugby right now. Kimmy's playing good, and yeah, I'm looking forward to getting back though. I'm looking forward to get on the field against them and with them, and we'll see what happens in the future.
We're looking forward to having Caleb Muntz back as well. Vinaka, mate, all the best. Caleb Muntz, and we look forward to seeing him before the end of the tournament and in the Flying Fijians campaigns as well. Well, time now for our tries of the week. Coming up, the Fijian Drua women in Brisbane, but we'll start with the Fijian Drua men in Hamilton.
Damien McKenzie going in on defence with Tokiaho. Dorena Langi. Chiefs holding for the moment. Now Armstrong Ravula. They're going to score another. Yes, they are. Yourself or Masi. He gets 2.
As we see the Drua First touch in hand, they've got a yawning gap to play in on the far side. Now entrusted with Millenia. Millenia breaks away from one. Millenia wanted to offload desperately, and she will. There it is with Orai! And they'll crash through for an early score in the second half.
Oh, so good to see the Fijian Drua women back in action in Super Rugby Women. A great start to their title defence, and good luck to both the women and the men in their matches against the New South Wales Waratahs in Lautoka on Saturday. The men from 1 p.m, the women from 3:30 p.m. A big double header. I look forward to calling all the action with Sam Wykes and Namani Nandolo. Well, that's it for another Drua Talk. I'll leave you with a look at the Swire Shipping Fijian Drua men's team and the Rooster Chicken Fijian Drua women's team to take the field against the Waratahs on Saturday. Thanks for watching. I'm Greg Clark. More there.